All right, good morning. Is this still morning or are we in the afternoon? Afternoon? All right, good afternoon. That was not good enough. Good afternoon. Still not good enough. I'm only one person. Good afternoon. All right, so welcome. It's really incredible to hear all of the speakers because none of us talked beforehand. And the fact that we all have the same themes reoccurring, it just speaks to the power of our experience and the fact that we want you to contact us. So by way of introduction, my name is Stesha Emmanuel. I'm a litigation attorney at McCarter in English. It is a big law firm. We have a couple of offices throughout the Northeast, and I particularly practice in products liability and employment. I am currently serving as the Executive Vice President of the Massachusetts Black Lawyers Association. I'm also on the editorial board of the Mass Lawyers Weekly, which is the largest newspaper that goes out and is talking about what's going on in the legal community, In particular, with the Mass Black Lawyers Association, we are an organization that advances the promotion and the retention of attorneys of color, in particular Black attorneys, dating back from 1973. As time is of the essence, and before I introduce your main speaker for this part of the session, I want to take a few moments to impart a few words of wisdom. Throughout this conference, you will meet incredible, dynamic people. Their resumes will be shiny and glowing, and you will stop and think, there is no way I can get to that level. I like to call this, there's a side A, which is your resume, but like a cassette tape, there's a side B. And so some folks know what I mean. All right. Just in case, I think I might be dating myself. Let me talk about a cassette tape really quickly. So, when there used to be popular music or a single would come out, you can get the single and, buy the cassette tape, and on the side A would be that popular song. Everyone knew it, you were dancing for it, you bought the tape for that reason. When you physically took the tape out, turned it over, put it back in your Walkman, and listened to side B was the material that you never heard before. It was either new material or the artist was trying something new. And most times it didn't take. And it's just like a resume. So you'll see our accomplishments there. You will see our employment history. What you won't see is the challenges and the obstacles and what it took to get us there. So I would implore you, when you meet us, talk about our great achievements, but also ask us about our failures. Ask us about our obstacles and our challenges, because I promise you there are many. And just by way of a personal note, one of the greatest examples of that, I just finished my clerkship, and I was like, thank you. And I was like, all right, I'm good. I'm cream of the crop. I'm feeling myself. I'm Beyonce. I'm flawless, right? And I go out, and I also had a stack of rejection letters, but I took the opportunity with those rejection letters to then reach back out and say, hey, what could I do differently? Because a lot of times we'll take a rejection at face value and walk away from the situation. But what you need to do is you want to take that side B to turn it into an A, so then talk to someone and say, well, why didn't you like that music or that material? What can I do better, and what are you looking for? And so I did that. And one of my advocates who sits on my board of directors, because I am the company, and so I have my board of directors, he was the one that rejected me and said, sure. And then when we met, he said, no one has ever in my 30-year history followed up with me to ask. And so we started talking, and to this day, he is like a working angel in the background. I will get calls to, talk on panels or join different associations where sometimes I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm ready yet. I'm only 7 years out, but it's opportunities that I am more than sure he has a hand in. And remember, this guy rejected me. I never even worked for him. But then I took what he told me and was able to get the job, so I wasn't jobless, but then worked really hard, kept in touch with him, and now, he, every time we see him, the running joke is, I should have hired you. And I'm like, yeah, you should have. But no worries, you can help me out on this other project, or you can send clients my way, I will take care of them. And so, if anything, think about how you market yourself. Think about your side A, right? And when you meet people, think about their side A of that cassette tape, but then remember to talk about side B and how they transition and how they moved forward. All that to be said,